We talk about hard things like sex, trauma, heartbreak, but rarely do we talk in a meaningful way about the thing that touches every aspect of our lives, money. At a recent conference, I was explaining to somebody what I do, and they responded with, feelings are fine, but what people really need to do is move out of their parents' basements, set up a savings account, and just start saving. I don't have a good poker face, but my brain was like, did you really say that out loud? So with that, I'm here to reintroduce myself and share with y'all a little bit about who I am and what I do. If you've been following me for a while, maybe it's time for a little, dust it off. It's a new year refresher. So let's kick it off with who I am. Hi, I'm Lindsay Bryan-Podvin. Professionally, I'm a financial therapist with a master's degree in social work and specialized certificates in financial social work and financial therapy. If you're wondering what a financial therapist is, take a breath. I will get there in a few moments. I'm also the author of the book, The Financial Anxiety Solution, which is a workbook that helps people manage their financial anxiety by tapping into their thoughts, their feelings, and their behavior so they can worry less about money. Outside of my professional life, I love kind of the simpler things in life, taking my dog on new walks, baking sourdough, and cozying up with a big old bowl of popcorn while catching up on Bravo reality TV, such as like Below Deck or whatever the latest Housewives franchises, because we need balance, right? We can't all just focus on money and mental health and systems. We also need to take off our brains and enjoy ourselves. Next, what do I do? Money is emotional, psychological, and it's impacted by the systems that we live and exist in. I help people, workplaces, and communities manage their feelings around money, whether that's stress, guilt, anxiety, or even excitement and joy. As a financial therapist, I dedicate time to my clinical practice, helping individuals work through their financial anxiety. It is my role to help people understand how these different things intersect so that they can take in financial content with a filter of discernment and spend joyfully on things that they love. Set financial boundaries with intentions and groundedness, and practice advocacy as a form of financial self-care. In addition to my micro clinical practice, I partner with organizations, workplaces to facilitate financial well-being workshops, whether it's through a one-off speaking engagement or a series of events. Over the past few years, I've had the honor of creating a financial well-being curriculum and piloting it at a university with over 650 adults to help them understand things like systems and money, anxiety and money, what money trauma is, how to set boundaries, and I'm getting ready this year, the year of 2026, to bring that to more people, and that feels really exciting. If you want to learn more about that, it's called the Mind-Money-Balance Method, and you can be alerted of opportunities to participate in it, whether it's bringing it to your workplace or, TBD. I'm being a little vague here, but go to mindmoneybalance.com/MMB- method. And I will link it in the show notes or in the YouTube description so you don't have to remember it. But if that's of interest to you, you can definitely check that out. I also have partnered with brands to elevate their content by lending my financial well-being and financial therapy expertise to their different activations and campaigns. For example, I partnered with Intuit to lead a financial well-being retreat at Joshua Tree National Park. I've also spoken to employees at McCain Foods and facilitated a virtual workshop for them about why budgeting can feel so hard and so restrictive, and how to use my expertise as a financial therapist to help people reframe their relationship with a budget and take actionable steps to create a spending plan that not only feels better for them, but is also more sustainable and manageable and doable. Because what's the point of having a budget or spending plan if it's just like sitting on your desktop or like in a dusty app that you're not using? That's just an example of the ways that I use my kind of title and credentials through these different areas. When did I become a financial therapist? When did I create Mind Money Balance? I became a financial therapist in 2018. I was already a therapist in 2012, but I got additional certifications in 2018. And I created Mind Money Balance, which is my full-time financial wellness business, in 2020. Why the heck did I become a financial therapist? Well, buckle up. It was not my plan. And once I got this bug in my head or bug in my ear, I don't know what that phrase is, I just could not see it. That's a strength and a challenge, I would say, of being a person with ADHD. Is like you get that hyper focus or kind of like obsessive thing that you hold on to. And that's how I ended up being a financial therapist. But zooming out, in therapy as a trained social worker, we talk about hard things like sex, trauma, heartbreak, but rarely do we talk in a meaningful way about the thing that touches every aspect of our lives: money. In my first job after grad school, I lived paycheck to paycheck and made less money than I did as a waitress. And I felt tremendous embarrassment, guilt, shame, because I felt like I had squandered my financial privilege of coming out of grad school without any student loans, and turning to personal finance books only made it worse because they were blaming me for living in this paycheck to paycheck situation by saying things like, oh, you're in this situation because you're going out to brunch or you're buying too many handbags. But as a social worker, I was trained to think about these so-called individual problems that we love to like point our fingers at and wag. And by we, I mean the global we, the royal we, not we, you, and me. But these personal finance experts weren't addressing those things. They weren't talking about things like fair wages or unaffordable housing or sustainable habits or how, where we were raised and what we were exposed to shapes our relationship with money. There was just like this huge chunk missing from all of this personal finance education. And in my work, I worked with clients who were stressed about finances, but my training didn't really prepare me to help them beyond a temporary Band-Aid fix. I didn't have the training to explore how money affected their well-being, even though we know, like if we think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everything at the bottom, like food, shelter, clothing, we all need money in order to get those things because of the society we live in. So that gap between how we think and feel and behave and all of the personal finance education and the holes in it really led me to financial therapy. It would be in these sleepless, insomniac, hyper-focused nights that I would be trying to figure out, how do I stay in my lane as a mental health clinician and social worker, but how can I help people at that intersection? And that is how I ended up moving into getting those certifications in financial therapy and financial social work and becoming Michigan's first financial therapist. Where do I work? Where am I based out of? Well, my clinical caseload is full. It is offered virtually and only to Michiganders because of my licensure, but my financial well-being workshops, brand collaborations, speaking engagements, and the upcoming Mind Money Balance method are available everywhere. And lastly, how? How can you learn more about these workshops, brand collaborations, speaking engagements, the Mind Money Balance method? You can find everything you need to know at my website, mindmoneybalance.com. There is great navigation, if I do say so myself, that can point you toward speaking, brand collaborations, and the Mind Money Balance method. But I would say, generally speaking, whether you're interested in working with me in that way or whether you're just like curious about what I do and how I do it, get on my email list. mindmoneybalance.com/newsletter is the best place to get information about money, systems, and mental health. Every week, well, most weeks, I do take time off. I write a newsletter about something that is happening and offer newsletter subscribers actionable, tangible steps to take to try and implement some of the things that I'm sharing about. While I love showing up on video, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the things, email is my consistent every Monday morning, again, almost every Monday morning, place where you can get to know me, my style, and my work. So again, go to mindmoneybalance.com/newsletter. If you take nothing else away from this, money isn't just numbers and math. It's emotions, it's history, it's mental health, and it's the systems that we navigate every single day. My goal is to help people, communities, workplaces feel good, feel empowered, feel confident, not shamed, embarrassed, afraid about their money. Whether this is through one-on-one therapy, workshops, brand collaborations, the Mind Money Balance method, my goal is to help people at the intersection of money and mental health so they can enjoy their lives and stop tracking every penny. Again, go to mindmoneybalance.com for more information and mindmoneybalance.com/newsletter to stay in the loop. And I'll see you here real soon.